Good morning, everyone. It is snowing again. We're going to start our journey to Exeter by showing you what happens every morning. So let's see if we can flip this thing around. How do you flip once you're already videoing? Anyway, there's Hammy getting dragged to work in the snow again. There's Dana and the new plow truck. Lots of snow. Lots of snow. Lots of snow. All right. Hopefully you didn't get too dizzy from that. We'll continue this in Exeter. And we're arriving in Exeter. We'll come out and check it out later, but that's our new 1947 truck. This is where the gas pumps are gonna go. There's our We'll Be Back, the pavilion. And, oh, more snow.
Lots more snow.
Yeah, lots more snow. All right, hang on a second. Let me get out of the truck. You don't need to see that. Hammy likes to check the floorboard before he gets out. And then, oh, shake it off. I'm back to work. All right, a day in the life of Hammy. Like some ice on the way. If you know the secret passcode, you can open the side door. And then we're in our mess. All right, let me put my strawberry refresher down, and I'll be with you in just a second. All right, I'm back. Hammy's in his crate, so I can talk to you for a little bit without him getting in trouble. Otherwise, he sits over here in a recliner next to my temporary desk, next to my fake wood stove. So, if we start at the front, this is a new piece. It's an antique. It was actually owned by Stanley Totenholtz, and Dana has refinished it. And he's actually written the history of Stanley Totenholtz on the back of it. He owned a company called Electromobile Corporation. It was a short-lived electric car company that didn't make it up in Southborough, Massachusetts. He ended up stripping the top of it, which we don't normally do, but it had this gorgeous oak on top, so he did strip the paint off of the top. And it's actually, once this wall is finished painting, it's going to push back against the front wall as our literature stand. We've actually gone ahead and faked out all of the hooks as if it was a real showroom and had product in it. And we have the yellow sticky notes representing what kind of product and how many, so that we could order accordingly to how much space we had for every item. So the showroom is actually set up with every rack, every hook in motor clothes, just like it would be when it was open. And then over here, we have our t-shirts organized by their custom backs. The shirts come in custom backs, and one of the biggest changes we're making is building this custom t-shirt wall over here. So the t-shirt wall is actually going to make it so that there's a cabinet door going on here that has the front of the shirt displayed. This is actually chalkboard, so we'll be able to write what we want to say about the shirt. The green sections will actually be open for the sizes of the shirt that the customer can take from. And then the bottom actually has these paneled doors going on it for additional storage. So with the clamps that we own, we can make 1 to 2 panels a day. And it is all mahogany. So we've got some out back. I'll show you that they're starting to put some poly on, and it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. It's actually an old growth mahogany. Dana's got a lumber store nearby here that's been in business for 70, 80 years, and nobody ever goes into their back sheds except for Dana. We've been painting all of the walls as well, and we're actually preparing for next week. Actually, this week, it shipped on the 11th. Our big graphics are coming. So up in these things here, 75 inches by 57 inches, big gator board graphics. We used the vintage images that Harley had available. We also just finished hanging this authentic New Haven passenger rail car sign. And the graphic that's going up here and the graphic that's going on the opposite peak, actually both were local vintage images from the original New England Harley-Davidson branch of Harley-Davidson Motor Company. And the one that's going up here with the New Haven sign was actually the train car delivering the bikes to the New England branch. So let's see, over here, what else has changed? Oh, off the same rail car, pardon the naked mannequins, they've been getting a lot of airtime on our social media too. Pullman would have been the type of car that New Haven was off of, so we got the little mini Pullman sign to go up over the door. Over here in the motor clothes counter, these are just random signs that need to go up somewhere else, but this is like an old Clark spool cabinet. Those are quite the collector's items in the antiques world. This one somebody had actually bastardized by taking the top off. So normally that would make it not worth anything to anybody, but to us it's actually more valuable because since they've already done it, we can take advantage of it. And Dana's going to make an oak framed with a glass top, and it's going to enable us to lay kind of like a shadow box our poker chips, pens, challenge coins that we sell, and then keep the stock of them in the drawers in the front. So it's going to actually go here on the counter where this other cash register is right now when it's done, so that we can sell those items from the counter. This thing's wicked cool. It's actually more than just a cash register. It was what they called an account register. On the back of it, you can actually open it up and all these different sayings cycle through. You can actually rotate it and there's dozens of them in there. And then in the front, it had the chalkboard writing trays. There's a couple of them up here. It has your actual cash drawer. And then it also has the account register. This was actually a roll-top desk as well, and it has a light. And then the account register let you keep the records of your customers, over 200 of them, in here. So it was like an all-in-one accounting system for an old general store or something like that. And then over here, can't get there from here. Really can't get there from here. Over here, some of the wall systems that we took down in order to change the sales office. And we're doing the drywall ourselves too, so we ended up with a drywall lift. Sorry, getting dizzy here. This is the contents of the sales office. So we had to pull it out in order to build the office. Those are all parts shelves that are all spread out because we're moving everything in parts. We just needed to make space to get it all out there. So this we just picked up this week. This is an antique pharmacy window. So you see how it says the pharmacist. And so that glass window is going to be the new glass window in the sales office wall that looks out to the showroom. And our concept is that in an old general store, which is kind of the theme of the showroom, you might have had a pharmacy in the back. So we might have some apothecary furniture, things like that. And the sales office is the pharmacy. And this is the new curbside window. And so we're actually going to take that cash register that I showed you and make a curbside counter right here to service the new curbside window. This window used to be in the old sales office. You can see the floor where the old office was. We're using the slat wall temporarily as lumber storage and as my project board. And this is actually the new sales office. So it's much larger. We actually ordered a 10 ceiling, the old stamped 10 ceiling, to put in as a drop ceiling. And they've almost got the other side of this wall sheetrocked so that we can start putting this all in. It's going to have painted pine wainscoting, like real wainscoting, and then an upper, and then a crown molding, and then the drop 10 ceiling, and then a fake slate floor. That slate floor is going to continue out here, and we're going to do some graphics all along here and here, and it's going to actually be on this corner would be our bike delivery area where we take our pictures of new bike customers. So there'll be something that says the shop name over here, and they'll be able to have it plugged into a charger and then head out the door when they're done the closing. So again, project board, lists. I'm kind of famous for my lists. Then you have the porcelain lined ice chest. We actually stole that from Warwick, traded him a Coke machine, and the old Dayton General Store scale. And we just added this black wainscoting here with the crown molding. It was just a plain sheetrock wall, but we thought it added a little bit of color. And then we just built and added this bookcase. So the bottom is actually out of old redwood and cedar, and it houses all of the manuals that we use for parts. And then the top came from some old like machinery type shop. I think its last use based on its contents was probably in a chicken coop. But anyway, it's working. There's Keith and Cassie. They're working on inventory and parts area. We'll circle back around to that in just a second. Again, this is all just stuff getting out of the parts area. All right. Over here, we have a new cooler. We used to have an old Coke machine here. And remember later, I'm going to show you a coffee grinder. It's going to go here. And the cooler is now making so customers can get their own drinks. And then one of the big graphics is going to go on this wall. And then we cut the hole over here. Hi, Dana. We cut the hole over here for the service counter. And we're in the process of building the service counter. It's all going to be oak. So if you see here, they're already putting the oak on for the surface of this. Oh, and Dana's proud of his tiger oak piece that he found at that same hardware store I told you about. Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, you can see it. Anyway, that's going to be the front piece that goes across the front, so you can really see it.
You look even better when the snow melts out.
Yeah, when the snow melts. And so this is the new service counter. It really opens up the service office. We're also tackling all the old service filing. So I wish I could find you. I wonder if I can find... Yes, I showed off the panel doors already. I told him you could do 1 to 2 a day because that's all the clamps you had. There's one of these boxes that shows why we're refiling things. I wish I could find it for you. Yeah, anyway, it might be here somewhere, but it says something absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I don't see it. Anyway, they're not in any sort of order. So unless you knew that, you know, Joe Smith had an accident in 2017 and had it in that box, and there's one of the boxes that says that it actually has, you know, H and G and I and a little bit of D. So apparently alphabet wasn't strong in the the prior requirements. We're working on this closet. It was actually finished and ready, but we've actually started hiding clothes in here until we open, so we keep them clean from the construction. But we did reorganize all of the hooks, fixtures, shelves, everything that go in there. The back wall is going to be custom imprint items, and then all this stuff actually goes out to the floor. And then this table will be a wrapping station when we're done. And we installed a hanger management system so that we can control the hangers. So that's the closet in there. All right, so now moving into service. This used to be an office back here, and we decided we didn't really need the extra office, but we did need an employee lounge and more storage space. So we put in the floor, painted the walls, and it's not quite organized yet, but this is going to be office supplies, kitchen supplies, microwaves, and toaster ovens, and George Foreman's, and dishes, and refrigerators, a little eating table. This is decorations by holiday, so it starts in like January to December. And then we have giveaways, posters. They had ice scrapers and rulers when they opened this store. We still have thousands of ice scrapers and rulers. We found them in the attic. You had to have seen the before to truly appreciate this janitor's closet. First of all, there was never a sink. So they actually did their dishes in the men's bathroom right here with a toilet brush. So I like the sink a lot better. We didn't actually have to hire a plumber because we just made it so it drained into the existing mop sink and comes off of it for water. And we put in a little dish drainer, so that worked out really well. And then the old storage was the sketchy white metal shelving. So we painted in here, got a little cart, and then Dana put in some beefier, heavy duty, we can actually do pull-ups on it, shelving. And it's all labeled for every type of function. We even have hanging spaces for all the hanging bottles of whatever the refill is. So again, you had to see the before. So this is what they've been using as their shop basically, to start refurbishing all the antiques and stuff. That's going to actually become part of that apothecary cabinet in the sales office we were talking about. That's a new tire rack for storing tires on when parts opens again. And those are some antique signs. So a lot of the theme has antique signs posted around. This is where we're organizing. We just put these shelves in where we stole them from parts to make that sales office. So we organized all the service manuals, parts manuals, facilities items, and now we're working on the loose hardware that was in all of the mechanics' lockers, 17 years of accumulation. And since we don't have a mechanic now, we can steal everything we want to steal and organize it. And we're putting it in those. Again, just lumber storage. And back here, Paul's been working on the antiques. We got a Pepsi machine that's going out on the front porch. So he's been polishing it up and cleaning it out. We're actually looking for the front louvered piece that goes on the front. That was the only piece missing from this machine. And then it can actually go out and we can use it for events by putting the, the tubs in with the drinks. And then our gas pumps, we're restoring a couple of old 1938 gas pumps. And they're going to go out on that curb where I showed you when we drove in. And just be decoration to be able to take a picture with, along with this light pole over here. This is one of those, like the old gas station light poles that allows you to have a big sign and lights and everything else on it. It'll be actually centered along with this oiler machine right between the gas pumps. So Paul, we also have the, we had to buy reproduction for the globes on top. He got the machine inside working though, so it's actually clicking along. And then over here, we have our eco meter is also going to be with it. So you'll actually have the air lines run out to it so that right at the pump you can check the tire pressure. This is the door panels I was telling you about for the t-shirt wall, where they actually hang a piece. Oh, it's like this. So your shirt goes on this, and then this hangs on there, and that's how you actually show the front of the shirt. Good job, Dana. So anyway, he's making a lot of these. Other random antiques in here. Got an old postal box. Some of it's yard art that's going to go outside in the gardens. Barrel. An old Newport poultry yards box. You'll see in a minute what we do with those kind of things. So this is actually just working as a workshop. This workbench they actually just restored. It's going to go over on that wall there. And there's going to be actually a half wall corrugated metal that goes along there with all new track lighting. And that's going to be the used bike showroom. This is Dana's little workshop for today. He's a huge fan of Festool, everything Festool. Anyway, they've turned the service department into a wood shop. This is one of the ones that they've been working on. So this actually came out of the farmhouse next door to us up in Foster. And it's an old grain cart that they weren't keeping anymore. And with just a little bit of tongue oil, it becomes an absolutely gorgeous It rolls, it's the right height, it's perfect for building displays. If we wanted to, we could even open up one half of it and make it so that you had something else coming out of it as a display. So I'm actually a little jealous of this one. I want it in Warwick, but it fits the theme down here better with the agricultural and general store. So that one came out really nice. And let's see, over here, we have some old displays that we're not going to use. We moved this pallet racking for the oil that we usually come in. This is all antiques for the showroom, like rotating stock back in there. Hope to use the orchard ladders as well. And let's see, oh, more lumber storage. Like I said, turned into a yard art, old bicycle, old motorcycle. We're actually going to restore the washing machine. I can picture it out on the floor with a t-shirt coming out of the wringer and some layered shirts laying on the top of it. So I think that'll be a good piece for the motor clothes counter. All right, going over here. Yeah, I did, yep. So we have a new hit and miss engine here. Needs a little restoration, but it's a actual hit and miss engine, and it should be able to be restored and started again. And then let's see, oh, the coffee grinder. So we're gonna put it up on one of those old punch press bases I forgot to show you in the corner. This is the coffee grinder for the coffee area out in front of Keith. So it's actually a big, this phone's gonna go on the wall in front of service. We cleaned out the network closet. That's all old junk that we don't need. A little steam pump for the gardens. More lumber. More lumber. This is actually the demo helmets demo area. We moved everything there that it takes to do demo rides since we're right near the back door, and it makes a logical sense. This is the stuff going back in the new network closet. So we swapped some desks around. And so they didn't need that old bookcase or that old desk out of parts, so we swapped that into the server closet here. And then Dana also saved an old boot displayer from the showroom that we were throwing away. It's going to be able to hang his cables and things, so he was excited about his finds for the server closet. All right. Hopefully you can still hear me. I have to put my mask on now. So we moved this desk into Cassie's position. It was that old metal desk. And then we reorganized all of this shelving. That's the shipping, receiving supplies, gift wrapping, bags, boxes, special orders. And then this is part of the whole rearrangement of the parts. So remember, we lost the last 10 feet of parts or 12 feet of parts for the sales office. So we're rearranging because of that. And we're also creating a section of obsolescence, non-movers, separating out our aftermarket items and our stocked Harley items. And we're fixing all the bin locations and all the labels. So it's quite the process. We've been doing it since November. We'd love to say there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We'll see. And then, of course, all the drawers over here and the common service items, and it's quite the process. So if you think about moving all of that inventory. And we're almost back to the beginning here. We cleaned out under the counters. So I guess the number one takeaway that I would hope that you see is my mom still thinks we're going to be done by April 1st. So anyway, we'll see what you think about that after this video. Hi, Ham. Thanks for coming along for the tour, guys. I'll flip you back around. Hopefully I'm not right up in my face. Bye.